All right, welcome everybody to episode 2 of the Microcenter podcast. And as you can see, we are in a new space.
Absolutely.
It's been a busy week. We've been moving in, but we finally have our studio set up, and we have a lot of decorating to do, clearly. We have this big white wall here that I think we have plans for.
We definitely have some plans for.
A lot of moving, a lot of carrying, a lot of hauling. The previous space, there was a lot of items in a small space, and now there's just a lot of items in a larger space.
Yeah. We have a lot of computer parts that we had sitting around that we finally have like nice spots for, and we can put somewhere nice. And I'm going to grab this from down here. We have a lot of things hidden under the table. And one of them is this GPU stand that we 3D printed. So you can see our GPUs on display, and it's got a PCI slot. I think this one's only for a 2 slot. Yeah, I have to 3D print a 3 slot one because we have a couple of big cards.
Yeah, big boys. We're going to do 100% infill probably for that.
To make it extra strong.
These are clean. There's like a little nameplate too.
Mm-hmm. So we
cool.
can put like a little plate on there. We can put like a little name tag. What else we got? I'm going to pass you this one. Here, Jacob.
Okay. Oh, yeah. There's a stackable RAM holder. So you put RAM right in here so you don't have loose RAM holding or floating around. But you can also stack them so that they're taller. It's really cool.
That's going to come in handy because we have a lot of RAM floating around. I mean, we swap components like daily in these PCs.
Like, kind of a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I like all the practical prints. I know we talked a little bit about that in the last one where everybody was suggesting, goofy fun prints or whatever. But the practical prints have always been my favorite because, at least for me, I don't always imagine them when I'm thinking about them. But then it's always like, oh, we could print something to fix that. I'm like, how do you do that? And then these things get created.
Yeah. I mean, I found these on printables, but these are like super handy. And the plan is I'm working with Jacob. So we have this sign up here right now, which is actually just being projected from a light. What are we going to do next?
So we're going to print a sign with a small inlay so that we can have RGB lights coming out of the Microcenter logo. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a little bit of a project though, because you got to print all of those, you got to wire it up, and we're probably going to end up having to attach those to a piece of wood of some other platform so that the wiring can be hidden behind there. But it's going to be really cool when we're all done. And
we could do a drop down through the wall too, because we have the electrical right here behind Chaylin, and we can just have it go through so it looks clean. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot of prints because, I mean, each letter I think is going to be the size of the bed.
What, for those of us maybe not as inclined in the 3D printing space, what kind of filament are we using?
Probably just PLA, to be honest, because this is a pretty cool environment, not a lot of sunlight. So it's not like it's going to be holding a lot of weight either. So PLA will probably work just fine.
It's going to be super lightweight. So that's going to be fun. But for the shelves, because we want to 3D print some shelves.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably going to be what?
ABS or PETG. One or two.
So our 3D printer lab, we're also in the midst of fixing that up as well. And that one's going to be a big, impressive space. I'm actually really excited about that one.
Yeah, it's going to have all of our printers up on a shelf. It's going to be fantastic. I'm hoping to get at least 10 printers able to run consistently.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot of printers.
We're going to be printing a lot.
Yeah.
So this whole wall, expect to see this completely full of 3D prints.
I'm excited to have our own little sections, so then you can kind of see everybody's different preferences and what they want to print, the colors, the themes, the characters.
All right, so here's the idea. I think Jacob gets a shelf, Chaylin gets a shelf, and then I'll get a shelf, and we can 3D print our own like things.
Oh, I'm super down. Yeah.
I feel like I'm just drastically underprepared for this battle. I'm gonna have to enlist some help.
We'll just teach you.
I do need to learn, but I'm definitely gonna go out to.
Man, you can figure it out.
I'm definitely gonna go out to some of the buyers and be like, "All right, teach me. I'm ready. I'm ready to learn."
Andy taught me a lot. We're gonna have Andy on the podcast soon because Andy taught me a lot, and he got me up and running with 3D printing. And now I'm kind of like starting to mess with Tinkercad and some of those other things. I can do some basic shapes. It's a lot easier than you think.
And for some of our consistent viewers, Andy's been on several videos that we've done on the channel. ranging from going into the stores to being in front of the camera, just talking about different reviews. I know you guys did a video on, I don't remember which 3D printer.
I honestly can't remember either off the top of my head.
So
We had a lot of
3D
printers.
printers.
We did. So it was the Anycubic printer that we did recently. But anyway, Andy's been doing a bunch of 3D printing content with Jacob, and yeah, we've been doing a bunch of fun stuff. So that's going to be cool. And now that we're kind of like moved into the space, we're still getting settled. We're kind of bare bones set up, but I think over the next few weeks and even the next few months, you're going to see the space evolve. This is going to be a living space. It's always going to be changing. We're always going to add things to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So beyond that, and sort of our 3D printing projects, Andy is in China right now, and he's been meeting some of our 3D printer vendors, and he went to a couple of events. I think he was also at Computex. Like, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
So he's coming back, and he'll have a video out soon talking about sort of his trip and some of the things that he saw there. And while he was in China, we were in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Gee, Jordan, what were we in Charlotte, North Carolina for?
Well, that's the newest microcenter location that we have open right now. That's our 27th store. And oh man, it was busy. Like,
So many people, an unbelievable amount of people.
since I've been working here, this is the second grand opening that we've done for a store. We did Indie, that was almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was last July.
Yeah, and that was a pretty big grand opening. Like,
Yeah, it was
we had
pretty
a lot.
big.
We had a lot of people come out for that one. We had some influencers come out as
Yep.
well, and then this last like couple weeks just with Charlotte and everything. Oh man, it was so busy.
Chatting with the associates and with the general manager, they were kind of telling us a little bit about the soft opening that they did as well, and the lines were just all over. And he said he was chatting with people in line, kind of, almost not apologizing, but saying like, "Hey, sorry for the long lines." Everyone's like, "Oh no, this is great. Like, we'll sit here as long as we need to get this stuff." And honestly, they had 10 registers going the whole time, and it was great. I mean, they had just a big flow of people the entire soft opening, and then the entire time that we were there too, it was just nonstop.
It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
so busy. I think what happened on the first day of soft opening was when they finally kind of opened the doors.
Yeah.
Someone posted it on Reddit, and then like there was a line out the door the whole day
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. It was insane.
It was wrapped. I think inside the line was wrapped around the store,
Yes.
like a Trader Joe's.
That is correct. Yep. And I know I talked with our district manager who had the opposite POV of the video that you got from the individual from Reddit.
Yeah.
And it was his view of the person walking in.
Right.
So it was cool to kind of see both perspectives and see everybody get excited. They had all the kind of associates lined up, clapping, people coming in. The reception from Charlotte's been incredible too.
That
I
was a
mean,
cool bit,
all
yeah.
over, people have just been talking about how great the deals are, how knowledgeable the associates are. The store just visually looks incredible. We talked a little bit that it is the largest retail space of any microcenter, and you can feel it when you
Yeah,
walk in.
it's gigantic.
46,000 square feet.
46,000 square
There's
feet.
just
Big store.
They populated. They're telling me, I was talking to them about it. It was like 25,000 unique SKUs, which I know to the average person is like, oh, okay, but that's actually like that's a lot of
That is
That's a lot of product.
and they're doing a really great job of just keeping things in stock because things are flying off the shelves. But they're having a really great opening.
Yeah.
And we had a good time too. I mean, we were hanging out with the associates, and I know there's a lot of influencers coming this month.
Yep.
Who was there last week?
So on the grand opening day, we had Danny and Allie, who we've worked with for quite a while. They've been microcenter fans for much longer than we've even been working with them. So love working with them. And then a brand new creator to our space, Jay Him, super great person. He's actually local to the Charlotte area. So he came through, shot some stuff. And then we have a whole bunch of people coming. I know Austin Evans was just there recently. He actually filmed some content for us as well. Sneak peeks, maybe
right.
potential in the future.
Maybe we'll drop a clip in this video, but we did a video with Austin Evans in the store, so we did a crossover. I think it went pretty well. I mean, Kevin was there. He was with Austin. They kind of knocked it out the park. I think my favorite part, though, of the Charlotte trip, we flew a drone inside the store to get some drone footage.
Allegedly.
We allegedly flew a drone. No, it was a small drone. It was a small camera drone, but we flew it inside the store just to get like an aerial view of how massive the store is and all of the product that's there. And that footage came out really good.
It looks really good.
It was fun to get that footage, but also the sensors on the drone kept going off.
That
it's
makes
like
sense.
it's like a 2-meter
The
radius.
collision.
Yeah, the
stuff.
collision
Yeah.
detect. So the whole screen was just red the whole time,
It-
and we're all just carefully like helping it navigate like through the store.
It really made you feel like when you're playing Halo and like the shield thing goes
Yeah.
off and it's like bing, bing, bing.
I got to go hide.
Yeah, it's what you felt like when you're looking at the
Exactly
controller.
like that, yeah. And we did do it when at closing, so there's no customers there, just in case we hit anything.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
went off without a hitch. We got a bunch of great footage. Like, we did a bunch of really cool stuff in the store. We did a video with our associates. We got to feature them. We did 2 PC builds in one day.
Wow.
We did one high-end like gaming PC, and then we did sort of like a mid-range like streaming PC with a
Okay.
capture card to like capture the output from the gaming PC.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a really high-end setup for someone who is like a big Twitch streamer, but it came out cool. Like, it was a real cool looking build.
And it was cool talking with the associates too, because there's actually quite a few. You know, when we open stores, oftentimes we will bring in some of the more experienced associates from different stores, have them come help out for a week or two and showcase some of maybe the experience that they've learned. But then we've also had people that have just transferred to that store and are now just living there permanently. Not at the store in the area, but living in the area permanently and wanted to work at the brand new store. So that was really cool. You know, we worked with Dalton a little bit, and that's what he told me. You know, he said I transferred here. I don't remember exactly where from, but
I think it was the Minnesota.
I think so too, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah.
But he moved to that store, and it's cool seeing how many people are so dedicated working at microcenter that they wanted to move to a completely new state and kind of get a fresh kind of view and see the brand new store, and then decided, hey, I'm staying here.
Yeah. And I think the crazy thing too is that obviously we have our service and they do all the PC builds in house. Day one, literally day one, they're already building PCs for orders. They're already like helping people with repairs.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Like,
awesome.
Day one, they hit the ground running. And they were like, yeah, we've already built, it was some obscene number. Like in the last week, we built like 100 and something PCs. It was insane. And I know Indy, when we did the Indy opening, like that was busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was really busy.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of even showcased, as we grow even more and open even more stores, how crazy it really will get.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm excited for. I like that stuff. I like seeing people get excited.
Big year.
Oh yeah.
So one thing that is a microcenter tradition is every time we open a new location, we have a special edition mug that we have for that location. So you can see on the table we have some mugs. What do we have? North Jersey, Townsend. I know there's a couple of others here on display, and there's some others in the store in the office that we have from like other store locations as well. But that's always something to look forward to. I know Indy, we had mugs there.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Andy mug here.
With the Indy car.
There's the Indy mug. Look at that.
Classic.
And then on the handle too, you can see it says Indianapolis. Each one kind of has like the store name like on the handle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool to see how they've evolved too over the years.
Each one is unique to the location.
Yep.
Is one thing that they've been doing for each store opening. And I know that one's for Indy, and then we have the Charlotte one as well. And people were grabbing so many of those mugs.
Oh yeah, here's the Charlotte one.
Look at that.
And it was
race car
fun
out
too, having people as they were walking out like, oh, don't forget your Charlotte mug. And their eyes like lit up, like they were so excited.
Yeah. And the associates, when we were there, remember they built the custom.
Yeah.
They took the boxes and made an MC and they
Yes.
put it on there. I got some
very
footage of that. We could show that. But that came out pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like they're having a good time just like handing them out.
I think that's the biggest thing. So many of these associates, they were just happy to be a part of this opening. You know, I know there was hiccups here and there, but once it all got going and rolling, they were just so excited to be a part of it. And you could see it as they were working with different customers throughout the store. Like they were just so happy to talk about builds, talk about the store, talk about service, talk about the area. They were very helpful with us when it came to filming or helping us with filming. They were just excited. And so it really shone through. It really did.
It helps that they have a good time at their job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that helps a lot. So we have mugs for the past 2 stores that we've opened.
Yep.
But we do have another store on the horizon. And I have a little surprise for you guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's here on the floor. But it's a special sneak peek of
First viewing.
limited edition Miami mugs.
Ooh.
Oh, these look sweet.
Those are so cool.
So we have 2 variants of this. And I think I have to confirm we might have one or the other, or we might have both when we do the Miami opening. which will be soon, by the way. So stay tuned to that. So
Soon
here you
TM.
can check these out.
Soon TM.
Yeah.
Like
These are so cool. Yeah, very we're talking a little off camera, very like Miami Vice-esque colorway. But these are very cool.
I don't know which one I like more because I like the teal inside with the orange gradient.
Yeah.
The purple looks really
I
nice.
really like the purple.
I do too. I think the purples are really, really cool.
Yeah, but like, so the purple's got kind of like the city, view, and it's got like a little bit of beach, but the teal's got like full on beach on it. And
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
no, these are going to look sweet.
Yeah.
So Miami is on the horizon.
Very
It's
cool.
going to be very, very soon. So stay tuned for that one. And we're really excited. So we'll be in Miami. Expect to see a bunch of your favorite influencers there as well. Then we'll announce that when we get closer. But that one's going to be a real good time. And I think we're expecting that one to be big.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that will be one of the busiest stores that we open.
Yeah.
I think, Florida's been itching for one.
How many comments did we see?
I mean, just yesterday, Kevin and I were going through and just getting some screenshots of them, and I probably pulled up 18 or 20 within 5 minutes, maybe. It was very quick.
Every time you post something on social media.
That's Florida. Florida is one of the biggest states that I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do get some like Midwestern states, but mostly it's Florida and other coastal states.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
There's a big demand. It's going to be a good time.
Well, and I think it shows with the Charlotte store. You open it in a place people have been asking for, and then you say, okay, we opened it, show up. And they did. They certainly did.
It's going to be a continuing trend, by the way. So stay tuned. Make sure you check out our website too and sign up because we do have sign-ups for these things.
Yep.
You do get kind of special deals and early access. So that is something to look into, by the way, if you're in the area.
Early access is super cool.
Yeah, because you do get in early. I know they do have special deals. We usually announce it closer to opening, what the deals are. But there's always some great deal that we have going on. So
but then signing up, you do get the free 128 gig flash drive as well.
Right, that's
which is
right.
Always a big bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But hashtag I want a microcenter near me.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. So we talked a little bit about the stores. We talked a little bit about the new studio. There's so many new things going on this year.
Speaking of new, though, before we move away from Charlotte, the one thing that I would be remiss if we did not talk about is the filament robot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in a microcenter. It is unbelievably smart to do. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, 'cause this is more your area, but for somebody that doesn't 3D print, I was just so blown away by how cool this thing is.
People are crazy about it.
Yeah.
It's super cool. What is the machine? It's like a sorter or
it's like a rotation shelf
Right.
thing. And I think that I wasn't in Charlotte, so I think that what happens is you scan a QR code and it'll bring up wherever that filament is supposed to be, so you don't have to hunt it down in the shelf.
Not only does it do that, but it has the shelves, and then lights come on and it directs you to the exact little location.
Fantastic.
It's so cool because we have so many different colors and styles.
How many do we have? Like hundreds, right? Like,
Hundreds. I have no
especially
idea.
like when we're fully stocked on every color and every type. Like it's a massive row of filament. We have a lot of different filament options for 3D printing. So this is going to help people like find it easier. So it's what we did was Andy worked on a prototype of it's a 3D printed little tag. Kind of like when you go to Home Depot and you want to pick out like a color palette for when you're going to paint. And you walk up, you pick the favorite one that you want, and they're all printed roughly at the same temperature, so they're always going to look roughly like accurate to real life because the color changes, right? When you print.
The finish will change. So sometimes, like if you print real fast, you can get like a matte finish. And if you print real slow, you can get a shinier finish, depending on the filament.
Today I learned.
So he tried to make it so that they're all just somewhat the same and consistent across the board, and they have one for each color. It's got the sticker. You scan it, and the whole thing will sort, and it'll just bring up what you need. And the idea is that it should only take seconds for you to get the filament that you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we want you kind of like looking around the store and looking for stuff, but I think this makes finding and shopping for filament way, way easier.
Our editor-in-chief, Dan Ackerman did a video on it and posted it, and I've been showing it to a few of my 3D printing friends, and all of them are like, "Oh my gosh, this would make life so much easier." Just because even in our local store, I mean, you go through and there's just so much filament.
Yeah,
and
there's a ton.
It's a lot of space, and so this thing it fixes the problem. It's super smart. I'll be honest, it's just fun to use.
Yeah, and they're going to roll that out to all future stores as well. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a fixture for all future stores. So that's going to be something really cool to look out for at both Charlotte and Miami.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
That's going to be cool. All right. So there's been some news over the last few weeks. A lot of it is AI centric.
Yep.
Fully AI centric. I mean, we're going pretty deep into AI here at Microcenter because obviously I think this is sort of not just a trend, but I think it's just the general direction that computing is just going.
Yep.
I think this is just the future. And a lot of our partners that we work with, Microsoft, Apple, everyone has big AI announcements this year. And Dan has been doing a lot of coverage weekly on Microcenter News. So you can sign up and see the newsletter he's been posting. He has a weekly update for AI news. So that's something to keep in mind. And we just wanted to chat a little bit about a few of the updates that are happening that we're actually pretty excited about. You watched WWDC live, right? The Apple event?
Yeah, I watched, well, at least portions of it. I watched it live. I really dig what they're doing with Siri, local computing, the AI. And then if there's anything that's a little bit too complicated for Siri to answer, it will ask you if you want to send that to ChatGPT. And it's very privacy first, and it's super cool.
Right. And I think that's the big thing that a lot of people maybe don't fully understand is that a lot of what Siri does is fully local on device. So you have an iPhone, right?
Yep.
You use Siri?
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, Siri's good.
Yeah.
She could be a little better, right?
I mean, of course.
So that's the goal. Like it gives Siri context, makes her a little bit smarter, and it's full app integration across the OS on your device, which is actually kind of cool because it can go from one app to another and kind of aggregate all of that information, but it's done locally. But then, like you were saying, the ChatGPT part, that's an opt-in.
Yeah, so like if you're asking Siri a question that's just a little too complicated for the model that's on the phone, because I mean it's still a phone. There's only so much processing power. So if it needs a little boost, it'll ask you if you want to send it to ChatGPT. And even if it does send it to ChatGPT, they don't log anything because they're agreement with Apple.
Right.
So it's very private.
Right. And I know privacy concerns are big when it comes to sort of AI and local
Yeah.
AI usage. I know that's like one of the big talking points. So Siri is part of their Apple intelligence. And then the GPT part is just sort of the bigger layer that's on top of that to sort of help boost that up.
Yeah.
And I know Google also has a bunch of other stuff that they're working with as well. I mean, we've been doing our research here. I think the most interesting thing about Google, though, is the Gemini updates.
Oh, yeah.
How many tokens?
1 million tokens.
No, it's more.
Is it
It's-
more?
it's
I thought that was a later update. I thought it,
So the future update, you are correct. I think right now it's 1 million tokens, but I think
Yeah.
the future update is supposed to be 2 million tokens.
which is just absolutely insane. Like to put that into context, when we do local AI here, we usually have a token limit of around 4,000 tokens, and it works pretty well. But 1 million or 2 million tokens, that's
like
a lot of context.
absolutely crazy. So yeah, 1 to 2 million tokens will be for Gemini 1.5 Pro. I think the Llama 3 that we've been messing around with on our local machine is like 8,000 tokens.
Oh, yeah.
I did find, and I've been using a version that's modified. So it claims it can do up to 128,000 tokens, but I can only get it to do about 32,000 tokens before it
I think that's probably a hardware limitation.
yeah. I mean, it's the 3090 Ti, it's the 14900 KS. We have 192 gigs of RAM. And
It's just so much.
so
You need it.
think of tokens as like your words, right? Like how many words you have to work with, and it's just your word limit. Like that's kind of the easiest way to think about it. So when you think about that, you hear like 8,000 tokens. You think that's a lot?
Yeah.
2 million tokens.
That's a lot of tokens.
Yeah. So you can cram in, I mean,
Yeah.
books.
You could win a lot of prizes at Chuck E. Cheese with 2 million tokens.
You could win a lot. I mean, unless your aim is really bad at skee ball, then those 2 million tokens are just down to
Even
drain.
then, with 2 million tokens, you're probably doing all right.
Laws of probability state that you will win something.
You're probably going to get, let's just say, 1 ticket per. You're getting 2 million tickets. That's not bad.
At Chuck E. Cheese,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're probably doing all right.
Board pizza.
So I think what Google's doing, they're also doing some AI integrations into Android devices as well.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that roll out throughout this year.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I think the other big one is Microsoft. They're doing a big push this year. So the big thing is Microsoft is working with Qualcomm, and they're going to have their own ARM chips that they're putting into new Windows devices. So now we have Windows on ARM again, but this time...
But much better this time. It's fantastic.
We've been test driving it this week. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I am actually super stoked for this because I love ARM. They're super efficient, and the battery life is just incredible. I think I saw something. One of the laptops was like 26 hours of battery life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that's
insane.
That's a big change, kind of coming from like sort of x86 processors, and we have the devices here. Thanks, Adam.
It's been pretty fun learning about these as somebody that had, no real idea of what is kind of going on.
You can get the 13. You can have the Surface Pro.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So that one's pretty sweet. Here, we'll clear off some mug space.
Some mug space. But as somebody that, really didn't have an idea of what a lot of this was, it's been fun to learn a lot of this. Working with our buyers, working with you guys to kind of really see what this is all about, what it can do, what, the future holds with this. It's been fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think the first thing I want to talk about.
Things are crazy. I just can't believe how thin this is.
They're thin.
They're
They're
very
super thin. They're
Crazy
sleek.
to me.
And they barely get warm to the touch when you're doing a lot of processing power because they're so efficient.
I mean, I just got DaVinci installed on this because when Microsoft did their announcement, they did a feature on DaVinci having AI boosted features. We use DaVinci Resolve a lot for our video editing here at Microcenter. This is the Surface Pro, and this is a 2-in-1. So it's a tablet, but it's also, like a fully functional laptop. The keyboard we're going to grab later, and we're going to plug that into this guy and mess around. So that one has 32 gigs of RAM. All three of these have the Snapdragon X Elite, so 12 cores. Honestly, this thing's like lightning fast for being like a lightweight, thin laptop that like has the functionality that it does. These are fast, but they're also they're sleek. And
the build quality on these is just incredible.
I used MacBook Pros for a while.
Yeah.
And this is a very nice comparable option to a MacBook Pro, because it's got that same kind of look and feel. It's hard to not talk about that, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The similarities are there. Obviously, Apple had their M1 chip that they released back in 2019, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
That was their step into ARM and away from x86. And the big thing that you get is you get more efficiency. They handle power a lot better, so you're using less wattage. And that's big because some laptops, like this guy here, this has an i9, I think 13900. And it's got, I think there's a 4070 in this guy.
Holy moly.
The battery on here, I'll get 4 or 5 hours. If I'm editing something, maybe 3-4 hours. And it really burns through that battery. And there's a big battery on this guy. But with a device like this, I mean, even on full usage, you're still going to get a lot of battery life. So efficiency is the name of the game when it comes to changing to ARM. That's really what it comes down to.
I've heard a lot about the Snapdragon processors. Once again, as somebody that coming into this didn't know a lot about it, I remember quite a while ago in some of the mobile devices they talked about a Snapdragon processor, but now just kind of seeing what all it can do and watching you guys do different AI stuff, this is impressive. This is cool stuff.
So I'm pretty excited to use more of these, and we're going to have more content about these as well in the upcoming weeks. You've been using it.
Yeah, so I used this for a day or two, and I was trying to do some stuff that it probably wasn't designed for this, but I definitely set up an AI server on this laptop specifically, running Olama, and then the interface is Open Web UI. I have a screen recording. It didn't perform super great, but to be fair, it's not really meant to run a whole Llama 3 instance on a laptop. I was kind of going to the edge of what I thought was possible, but it's still super powerful, and I really, really like a lot of the co-creator features. That's super fun. You can get into some really weird stuff. I I tried putting a picture of David Attenborough, Sir David Attenborough, in there, and I said, "This man riding a velociraptor," because I thought that would be really fun. But it didn't, because it had just the picture of him and it was a bust. It didn't know what to do with it, so it just gave him a velociraptor head, which was really fun.
Love it.
I think what's interesting about these devices is that it's going to put generative AI into everyone's hands.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think everyone's going to be able to sort of mess around with these things and try them out. And it's all done locally, or at least the majority of it is done locally.
I believe so. The Copilot stuff is not local, but the co-creator thing, I think, is.
Well, Copilot, I think, is going to have, it will have local functionality.
Oh, well, okay.
So each one of these is rated for 45 tops. And so the
Yeah.
new requirement for Windows is it has to have at least 40 tops or tera operations per second. That's sort of the new metric for what an AI-enabled PC will be. So it has to be 40 tops minimum, I think 256 gigabytes of hard drive space or SSD space, and then like 16 gigs of RAM is the minimum, which all of these, clear that minimum pretty well.
Yeah.
And then 45 tops, like that's pretty good for some of the local AI that you can do with this NPU
Oh,
or
100%.
neural processing unit that's in this.
Absolutely.
But then you have to keep in mind, okay, something like a 4090, I see people say they're rated up to 1300 tops.
It's just power.
Yeah, it's a different, rating of, it's a different amount of power for these
Yeah.
devices. And for what is a portable device and what is basically sort of like your first step into Gen AI and other AI functionality, this is more than enough power to sort of get started when it comes to AI PCs.
Oh, 100%.
And I think there's a lot to expect in the upcoming year in terms of AI PCs and what they're going to be doing locally. So stay tuned. We'll have some updates on those.
Oh, yeah.
Very excited.
One thing about these specifically that I'm pretty excited about is normally webcams for laptops, not great. But because this is a Qualcomm laptop and they have so much experience doing Android devices, they have a better image processing unit. So these webcams are actually pretty spectacular.
This looks good.
Yeah.
Ooh, that does look.
And
hey, how's
you
it
can do a lot of the effects that you would normally do through like Teams. You can do those natively on your laptop because of the AI that's on board.
I see it here. So you got the Windows Studio effects. We have some of those. So the background effects. Yep, just like you see in Teams. You have an eye contact filter, so it helps you to appear to be looking directly at the camera. And it'll just modify
I definitely
your
have a bad
eyes.
habit of looking at my second monitor for like notes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
very
basically taking my eyes and making them look up a little bit more. The thing about these AI features is that it's definitely, I think for a lot of people, it's going to be kind of like this
That's overwhelming.
eerie, overwhelming thing, but you're going to see it kind of everywhere. Oh, wow. Look at the background blur on this.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, it even gets me.
Yeah, it gets the two of you together.
That's pretty good.
That's sweet.
And then I can pull this up. And I know that you guys at home can't see this right now, but we'll show you a screen cap later. I can pull this up and you can see that the NPU, yep, it's doing all the heavy lifting here. So GPU is fine, CPU utilization is just low across the board, but NPU, you see it's going to work.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So there you go.
And you can tune into your favorite microcenter YouTube channel
Oh my gosh.
as well. I was trying to be real sly about it, and then it autoplayed. I was like, oh no.
Way to be sly, buddy. So we're going to have more video content about the new updates coming to Windows. We want to do some content about Office 365 and some of the Copilot integrations that you're going to see there. So expect a lot of content from us in the upcoming weeks when it comes to what's happening with Windows on ARM and Windows with AI and Copilot Plus. And I think there's a lot of exciting things on the horizon when it comes to this. Obviously, there's the elephant in the room, which is the recall feature. But the recall feature is not going to be available on these day one because they want to workshop it a little bit better. They want to make sure that they iron out some of the kinks. I know that there's a couple of issues that came up, especially in terms of privacy. So Microsoft is holding that feature back, and they're going to rework it, and they're going to put it out when they're more comfortable that it's ready for the public.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other AI features that you're going to see here, especially Copilot and everything that Copilot Plus can do, right out the gate, it's really cool stuff.
100%.
And using Copilot like in Edge which I've always been a Chrome browser user, but I've been using Edge a little bit more because of the Copilot integrations there. And it's very handy. Like if you're looking stuff up, if you're trying to find stuff, or even if you're just trying to do something, it's actually very, very handy. So expect a lot more content when it comes to these guys in the upcoming weeks.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Then what else do we have going on?
You take like some selfies.
You want to take a selfie?
Yeah, you got longer arms.
Here, I'll do.
That's not a selfie anymore.
Can I get
Oh,
all
there
three
it
of us?
is. Hey.
Oh yeah, you can see it like highlights the faces.
Yeah.
It looks like it's getting eye autofocus.
I can do video. All right, so I'm using the Microsoft Surface Pro to get a BTS video from the podcast so you can see the quality. Like, obviously, this is not how you're supposed to use this device, but the
Podcast
Still pretty good.
the hinge actually makes it kind of easy to use. This is crystal clear.
Yeah,
This
this looks pretty
This
good.
is 1080, right?
I think
this is
so.
1080 quality.
Yeah.
I'll double check it, but I mean, this looks pretty good.
That looks
Yeah.
crazy
The
good.
image processing on that is just fantastic.
I think that's one thing that I'm really liking. That one thing that you're seeing on a lot of Windows like laptops is improvements in the cameras. Because I think after the last few years, especially with work from home and a
Work
lot
from
of
home,
remote
yeah.
work, I think camera improvements have been very necessary.
Oh yeah,
I mean, everyone has like an external webcam that they've been using.
sure.
So I think just having a portable device that has a better camera finally, I think that's a big, big win.
It's a big win. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we talked a little bit about AI. Obviously, we're going to talk more about the Microsoft Surfaces in the upcoming weeks. And make sure you check out Microcenter News to see some of the write-ups about what's happening with OpenAI and Microsoft, Apple, Google, all the big hitters. There's one last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to AI, and it's my favorite new toy that I have right here.
I thought you were gonna talk about Al. He's
Well,
not.
Al's in the other room. We did a video about Al. Al is our local AI workstation who we've been having a lot of fun. We've been doing some cool stuff with Al.
Oh yeah.
But these are my Meta Ray-Bans. So I don't wear glasses. So these aren't prescription.
But you can get them prescription.
Yeah, you can get them in prescription.
Yep.
And right now it's talking to me, initializing.
Get really close to the mic, see if it can hear.
Hey, Meta, what am I looking at?
You are looking at two people sitting in front of microphones, possibly recording a podcast or video.
You're looking at two people sitting in front of microphones, possibly recording a podcast or video.
Well, it's right.
I think it's probably right. Yeah.
It's cool though. So it has a 1080 camera built in. It could do photos, it could do video, but it can also take pictures of things. And if you ask questions about it, I was able to ask, for instance, I held up like a hard drive and I was able to ask, like, what am I looking at? And it says, oh, this is a hard drive. Can you tell me more about it? Oh, it's a 16 terabyte Toshiba, yada, 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 yada. And it's telling me all the specs and like everything to like know about it. So this is kind of like AI in your glasses.
AI for your eye, you
AI
would say?
AI for your eyes. Yeah, it puts the eye in AIs. And I think the most interesting feature about it, though, is that we've been using this for video.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And
First person stuff is awesome.
it's actually really, really cool what you can do with this because you get that first person perspective. I'll give you a behind the scenes look. You can see Adam over there. Hi, Adam. That's our producer. So you can see a behind the scenes sort of look of what the podcast looks like. And it gives you just this really good looking first person perspective that I think is just a really unique look.
Yeah.
But it's also just really cool for doing content.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've been messing around with them too. We
Oh
got you
yeah.
a pair.
I love using it for like parts lists on social media. I mean, we're just shopping at Micro Center, so you can
Yep.
feel like you're there and you get to see a great parts list for your next PC.
I think what's funny though is when we shoot video with these, you can see the height difference in
Yes.
perspective.
100%. Yeah.
When we-
Some of us are not nearly as tall, Jordan. We get it.
Because when I was showing the footage around, and everyone, the number one comment that I get when I show people footage from this is like, "That's your perspective all the way up there. That's what the world looks like." I'm like, "Well, yeah." So when I do video in the stores, like I have to like hunch down and just sort of like do this. But I mean, I love these things. These are a lot of fun, and the AI features built into this I mean, it's just an extension of what you can do with your phone.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see more devices like this, especially as Siri gets smarter and everything else gets smarter. Like, you're going to see more and more functionality sort of come out, especially for like translation would be a cool one.
I'm excited to see how it progresses in eventually down the road into things like ski goggles, right? Or like snowboarding goggles, when you are able to film a longer video of you going down a mountain or, you know, biking or whatever, like seeing what that kind of entails with it and seeing it from that person's point of view. Like, can you imagine like a skateboarder doing a trick,
Right.
and then you're seeing it from there, but it's just twists and turns. And so those are kind of the things that my mind immediately goes to, is a POV of somebody doing something so spectacular that, you know, you can't do. So you get to see it from their perspective.
What do you think about like AI in sports? Or is that performance enhancing? Like, you could see
Oh, yeah.
if someone's going to throw a fastball or a curveball.
Oh, you're saying like while you're playing?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about just like.
Imagine AR glasses, right? And you're up to bat, and like you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it
I
looks
feel like that's
he's about to. Yeah, that is cheating, right?
I
mean, you know, they talk about there's the sports science of how long it takes a professional major league batter to not only identify what the pitch actually is, the revolutions on the ball, and then where it's going to be, and then still be able to swing and hit it is, you know, microseconds. And so
Right.
having anything that even gives you, you know, a couple extra microseconds is huge. So being able to like use AI or AR to kind of see the spins on the ball even, or kind of the velocity, the placement, I mean, it would be a big deal.
I think another use for AI in the sports world is I've seen wireframing, to where it'll take footage of people doing something and it'll see where their body is positioned, how it's positioned, and then if it's trained on a data set of that, it could probably tell you what you could do to improve your motion.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll probably see that in training a lot.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. I mean, even, you know, in esports, we saw the that monitor at the MSI booth, and it was showcasing the video game League of Legends and showing like somebody's health, and then showing you like the best path you should take. And it's going to be interesting to just see how the world has to adapt to AI, because for us it's very useful, but as you get into a professional setting of, you know, whether it be sports, esports, whatever, seeing how big of an advantage it can give you.
Yeah. I know, it's huge.
Oh, it's so cool.
What was that funny thing you were telling me? It was a Twitch streamer that put his voice.
Oh yeah. So well, Kev might have to edit this out, depends. But a very popular Twitch streamer, Tyler One, actually worked with an AI company, and they had him sit down and talk about League of Legends for quite a while, and then they take data sets from within the game of like probabilities, and it tells you things as you're playing the game, but it uses his voice. So it's like he's coaching you essentially in his voice, and it'll be like, hey, watch out for, you know, this character coming at this timing, because normally he does that. And then he was streaming and showcasing it, and, you know, sure enough, as his AI warned him that this might happen, it then did happen. So it's gotten pretty crazy. And I've even talked with Danny and Allie, who've done something very similar. They went to a studio, they talked for like 30 minutes using a bunch of different words, and then it was actually able to replicate their voice, which was very cool. So they've done some projects out there as well. So
That's really cool.
it's it's a crazy world. I'm excited to see what happens, but if there's one place that you get to see it all first, it's being a part of microcenter. So this has been like a nice kind of introduction. You kind of just get thrown into it, and then you get to just go the whole way.
Yeah.
And we do end up kind of like on the bleeding edge of a lot
Yes.
of the things coming down the pipeline in terms of tech, because, you know, we've been messing around with the Microsoft stuff for a little bit. We've been messing around with a lot of the other new things kind of coming down, and there's more exciting things to come this year.
Oh, yeah.
But it's always just kind of fun. You know, we get to kind of play around first.
Sure.
How often do you come into my office where like I'm just messing around with something new, and I'm like, oh, this is like that new thing that we're going to do a video on?
Yeah, I've definitely walked in and I've been like, what's that? What's that? Where'd you get that? And then it's just, you know, him, oh, I talked with, you know, this person, they had a meeting, they want us to start looking at some content for this. So, but you get to see it first.
Yeah.
You get to kind of see it right away, and then you get to talk with a lot of the companies, and you get that firsthand experience. They get to answer all the questions, you know, they can kind of explain everything. So you get that real expert analysis of it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a fun job, I'll admit.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
Are you guys playing any games right now?
Yeah. I mean, All of mine are real old stuff though. Nothing to
I
utilize.
play old stuff too.
Sweet.
Mine's a little older. I'm patiently waiting for Spider-Man 2 to come to PC, so I'm replaying Spider-Man Remastered.
There you go.
That's not that old.
It's like 2015, I think.
That's not that old. Okay, first of all, I'm replaying Fallout New Vegas. That's
Okay.
older. So like
I
that's
got
not.
I got you both beat. I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 11, which was debuted in Japan in 2002 and then came to the United States in 2003. So
You know what's funny? I think collectively we all have computers that could probably just run like Cyberpunk in 4K.
Yeah.
But we just play these old games.
Yeah.
For, like nostalgia.
you know, I was actually just talking with some of my friends about it. I was like, you know, I built this awesome PC after working at microcenter, talked with all the different associates, you know, built something amazing. We have it in this beautiful case, all this RGB, and then I pull up like the performance and it's like, you're using 3% of your GPU. I'm like, ah, cool. Sounds good, computer.
Yeah, I'm playing. Yeah, because I'm playing like New Vegas on my Steam Deck, maxed out. Like,
Was that inspired by the show at all?
yeah.
Or-
After the show came out, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to replay because it's been a minute. Like, I haven't opened this game up in like a decade.
Sure.
So, but I did fire up. So I have the Quest 3 that I've been playing around with, and I've been messing around at home, and I've been. Because we've been so heavy into AI, I'm kind of playing with VR again.
Yeah.
So I've been doing, I take the Quest 3 and I download Steam Link so I can link it to my Steam account. And I've been playing Half-Life Alyx.
Oh, that's cool.
that's
Have you guys played that one?
I have not, but I mean, I know of it.
I'm going to bring it in so you can try it out. Because that's like, I think that's still just the pinnacle of like VR gaming. It's so good. I haven't beat it because there's a really scary part. And if you played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about because I quit right when it started. So I'm replaying it from the
I don't do
beginning.
scary games either.
No, it's extra scary in VR.
I definitely want to try that.
They have which Resident Evil is in, I think it's Resident Evil 4 is in VR.
I think
I'm not built for that, man. Like it's too horrifying.
Very, very brief story that when we got to demo the Quest 3, they were showcasing us these different demos of watching, a sporting event. So it was like Albert Pujols hitting a home run in the NLCS and the fireworks going off in the crowd. And, you know, you're looking around, you're like, wow, this is amazing. And then I think the other one I was watching The Matrix. And then I look around and all of the code is on the walls. And I was like, wow, this is really great. So then the lady tells me, okay, well, we're going to do one more movie. She's like, how do you do with scary movies? And I'm like, well, not well, but you know, I'm happy to check it out. She said, all right, this one's The Ring.
No.
So
No.
so she puts it on and I've seen the movie. So the whole kind of room is dark and in front of you is just the screen with the movie playing. So I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, like it's not that scary, right? It's just, I mean, it's The Ring. So then as I'm watching a few more seconds, I start looking around similar to how I did on the other demos. So I'm looking around like this and I don't see anything. And I was just about to complain that like this demo wasn't that great. And then I turned my head like this, and the girl from The Ring is maybe a half foot away from me, staring at me like this. And I yelled so loud in this demo.
he did. I was there.
And I felt bad because I just kind of like threw my hands up. Like I was so startled. I was like, I almost like hit something. I felt terrible. I almost like just kind of swung. But it was so crazy how real it felt.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know it wasn't, but it was still, it felt very like you
You
just
get
turned.
lost.
and
There's just a visceral reaction.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah. No, you kind of get lost for a minute.
yeah.
And oh man. In Half-Life Alyx, you know, there's some like zombie parts and you know, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm doing fine, okay. And then there's like some parts where like you're just in a dark room with a flashlight mounted to your hand, and I'm like, I hate this. How do I reload this? And, like you're just panicking for a minute.
Yeah.
You're just like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see how gaming develops with AI, VR, all of it. That's probably what I'm most excited about. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people are excited to see how it affects, you know, day-to-day life and in the workplace, but for me, it's kind of the gaming aspect. I think any gamer that's watched like Ready Player One or something, that's you have this just desire for it to be something along those lines. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm interested in. You've seen the Skyrim mods where they do AI NPCs that like you can talk to forever,
Yeah.
basically. And I know it's like it's not a junky mod, but it's kind of just like a simple mod, and sometimes it's just a runaway conversation.
Sure.
But I think that there's like potential for AI integration into a lot of these game engines. Like imagine Unreal Engine 5
Yeah.
with like some LLM capabilities or
Mm-hmm.
even some generative capabilities to like make new maps to like change things up a little.
Yeah, I've actually heard a lot about, especially for like NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
So I read a story, I can't remember where it was from, where people were concerned that AI generated NPCs were going to be an issue, like people aren't going to be able to write for those people anymore. But they wanted to talk about how you have to write the context. So every NPC you see, if they're able to talk to you forever, you need to give them a backstory. So
Right.
people are still writing for that. And that gives the AI a lot more context to keep talking to you and have a personality.
I think that highlights
really
one
cool.
thing that people never really take into consideration with AI is how much work goes into building out those prompts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because when we do the prompt building, you know, we've used prompt libraries, right? And that kind of helps for some use cases. But if you want a very specific use case, or if you're building a personality with a prompt, like it takes a lot of work. And like once you get to that point, then you kind of reap the rewards of kind of getting like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. This is
Sure.
a character
Yeah.
that has like this backstory, and you know they're kind of like maybe like a swarmy, swashbuckling character, like a Han Solo type, but they're always
Yeah.
going to come in at the end, and then like suddenly you get like Han Solo dialogue coming out of them. Like I think that's definitely going to be the future of gaming, and I think VR. I think VR isn't going away. I think
No.
VR is coming
No.
back in a big way.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't gone anywhere. I think just AI has really just dominated the conversation.
Yeah.
But I think once those two things really start to
Yes,
come
that's going to
together,
be the big thing.
because I see, because you know, I was talking about the Meta Ray Bans before, right? But Meta has Llama 3. They have, you know, sort of these AI features that they're doing. They also have the Oculus devices. So like once you kind of get all of that into sort of one cohesive sort of, I don't know, device or whatever it ends
Sure.
up being, I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to
A
that.
lot of opportunities for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of gaming, I did bring a few products that I think would be cool to showcase. Was talking with some of our buyers about new products coming in, and one of the most known brands in the esports world, Fnatic. We're going to be showcasing a lot of their products, which this is one of their keyboards. I do want to showcase the box too, just to show it off. And if you take off the kind of cover as well, the inside of the box looks awesome. It has just very clean with their logo. I love their logo. I love their colors, the orange and black. And then every keyboard needs a good mouse. And Jordan, if you want to showcase or maybe hand it to Jacob, let him unbox it. This is one of the cleanest unboxings of any product I've ever seen.
I'll let you handle that one.
This looks
I'll let you
super
handle the
good.
sleeve.
Perfect. I'll take it.
I'll take those.
If you want to showcase this unboxing, it's so cool. When we got these in, I was able to take a sneak peek before we put them out on shelves. And as you open it, you'll see it has two sides to it. One of them is kind of the accessories for the mouse, and one actually is the mouse. And they look so good. They look super
that.
clean.
That looks amazing.
But also like, look at this keyboard. This is low profile switches. Yeah.
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 This is thin.
And it has
Yeah.
all the coloring is orange as well, which matches, you know, all of their team. Stay tuned. Potentially some microcenter Fnatic players collaborations in the future. But you know, when I talked with Patrick a little bit about bringing them in, and he was kind of asking, you know, what I knew about them and having a pass in esports, it was really cool to get to talk about Fnatic. They're definitely one of the perennial powerhouses of Europe, and their product just looks so good.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Can I do a little sound test?
Oh yeah, a little ASMR.
Nice.
Not bad.
Looks good.
Those are nice. 60%. You've got.
Yeah, I do want to
This looks
showcase.
so clean.
I get the little accessory bag out.
Oh yeah.
I just love the packaging. It's so good. And I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely somebody that holds on to all the boxes of my products.
My house is like half boxes of just things that I've bought because I just save all the boxes.
I can't help it.
I do
Yeah.
not do that.
No,
No.
You just chuck them out. But what if like
Well, the only things I keep are like PC case boxes, just
Yeah,
so like if
definitely
I
keep
move.
those.
So they have that. It also comes with skates, which are really cool, and these go on the bottom of your mouse as well.
Oh,
Super,
stickers.
super nice. And then stickers. There's just so many cool different additives in this box, which I really, really like.
This is super lightweight. So it says 52 grams on this guy. It's got 2.4 gigahertz wireless. It's got a 4K polling rate. Not bad.
Yeah.
26
switches.
DPI.
Yeah, 26,000
down.
DPI.
And I love that they include all the customization stuff for it as well. So being able to change the mouse to how you like it. If you want it a little bit faster, a little slower, you want some more drag, you want some more speed.
Yeah.
Because, talking about gaming, playing something like Counter-Strike, which they're very well known for, you'll see a lot of pros playing on like 300 DPI, 400 DPI. But then switching over to something like League of Legends, which they're also known for, some of the best players in the world, are playing 3,000, 4,000 DPI. So depending on the game you play, depending on the settings you want, all those things can change. So having all the options to do all that's a pretty big deal. All comes in one package, a very clean looking package as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I talk about what I think is the most important feature on mice?
What's that?
Is the skates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the skates. Look at these skates. Like, these are nice. So
And just in case.
I have a G502 that I replaced the skates on, and with skates like these. I forget the name. What are these called again? These are a certain type of material.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I always just call them skates.
This type of skate though is so good because it's smooth on any surface. I have a pad on my desk that I use, but this is like, I have a heavy hand, and I've burned through like the skates on some mice, when you'll see that like where my palm sort of rests, that like I burned through the skates.
Yeah.
These, no issue.
I just realized,
Really?
too, they also include grips for the mouse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Okay, so you have no idea how many times, because I play a lot of Fortnite still, and I put all of my build bind. Yeah, I know. I play a lot of my build binds are like on my mouse, and how many times when I'm like building and doing stuff where like I've straight up thrown my mouse by accident because it just slips out of my hand.
Yeah.
Because like I'm like doing stuff, I'm building, I'm trying to shoot, whatever, and like straight up like my mouse just
Ding.
flings across my desk, and I'm just like, oh, hold on, wait, I gotta grab my mouse.
Feel those that's right up your alley.
Yeah.
That's got some tack to it.
I see. So you could put that
Wow.
on there.
Yeah.
These go on the top. This goes on the side. Got it. Okay.
That's very cool.
That's actually pretty nice. So this is actually a really nice grip. I mean, it looks nice too, design-wise. It has these etchings in it, but like it's very grippy.
I'm blinding
because
myself with this.
my fingers get a little sweaty I sweat. I sweat while I'm sweating, while I'm playing games.
I love it.
And I can't keep my computer to the right of me on my desk because like I have flung my mouse, not angrily, just like it falls out of my hand because I'm like, I'm trying to keep up with these kids, man.
It's tough.
It's hard. It's hard out there. You're gaming in your 30s, like it's hard to be competitive.
Well, that's what, we were actually laughing when we were talking with our buyer, Patrick, and talking with Fnatic. I told him, I said, I always love the aesthetics because if I can't be good, I at least want to look good while I'm doing it. So, and I mean, come on, the orange and the black, it just looks so good.
Yeah, it does look really
I can't
good.
believe how light this is.
The color schemes are nice.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, we got the Fnatic Lamzu Thorn 4K Special Edition mouse, and it's only $99.99. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
I mean, for what you get, I mean, it's a pretty good mouse. And so we're testing this at a couple of stores,
Yep.
but I think we're rolling out Fnatic throughout all of our stores over the next year or so.
Yeah, I mean, their team sounded extremely excited to work with Microcenter. Getting to chat with them a little bit was really cool, seeing their viewpoint of how they go from the esports and selling things on their website to being able to do things on the retail space and in the Microcenter stores. And it's going to be really cool seeing how they progress. We've talked a little bit about doing stuff with their esports teams, potentially doing some meet and greets, doing some photo ops in the Microcenter locations as they come over for different tournaments. So
Yeah.
definitely a lot of things down the road with Fnatic. So when I talked with Patrick and he recommended this as one of the products to talk about today, I'm in.
Absolutely.
That's going to be cool. I'm real excited about that one.
Yeah, AI was out of my league. This is right in my wheelhouse. So speaking of my wheelhouse,
It's time for everyone's favorite game.
Do 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 do.
We need a theme song for this game.
We do need a theme song for this
Yeah.
game. Yep. We definitely need a theme song for this game. We're gonna go a few years back.
Give a brief 5-second introduction that we can use for all of our shorts. Give a brief 5-second
Sure.
introduction. So what's the game that we're going to play now?
Today we're gonna play Guess That Price. Do 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 do. We're gonna talk about.
This is when we look at old marketing materials from the
Yes.
past and we try to guess the price of products that Micro Center carried. And remember, we're 45 years old, so Micro Center's been around a while.
Speak for yourself.
Which we definitely need to have a birthday party.
We will have a Micro Center birthday party this year.
Absolutely.
Guarantee it.
So we're going to talk about stuff from years ago. Some of them are in different stores. Some of them were specific locations. But keep in mind, these prices are from 1995. So maybe when we talk about storage, you guys need to take that into account. I will give you the year. This was 1995. Okay.
1995.
Yep.
Oh my God. All right.
Statistics from 1995. 1,108 items are on sale at up to 82% off, and still over the 25,000 products in the store, which is awesome. So,
Okay.
I
I think a lot of those were books because we used to carry a lot of books.
so many books.
Like a lot of books about coding and things
Yep.
back then.
And there was a lot of software you could get in store as well, including games.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. Yes, we used to sell physical software.
Yeah.
Well,
That is right.
You
That
could
was the
just
biggest.
download it.
That was the biggest thing was physical software.
Yep.
That is right.
And before we continue further, too, Mike Center used to have classrooms where they would do a lot of learning and teaching things for people if they bought their first computer.
Right.
You could have a 30-minute lesson on how to use it, which I think is really cool because in today's world, you have children that use iPads and, notebooks, everything on their like regular school day-to-day use. Whereas you had people back then who were adults that would have to buy one and be taught how to left click and right click.
Right.
So it was all brand new.
Fully from the ground up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have quite a few options. I am going to, real quick, before we show off our first price, I want to show the map. And maybe, Jacob, you can hold one side of this. I have a couple sticky notes for us here, but this is the Texas store.
Uh-huh.
One of the Texas stores that opened.
Bring it out this way more.
And it shows all of the general sales area, which I love. I love these old maps, and we'll scan them in so you guys can see them a little better.
Right.
But I love it. I love the old marketing material. It's so much fun. So, okay, price-wise. Beautiful. Love it.
There you go.
Classic. All right,
I'm an athlete.
first one. A 3.5-inch, 1.08 gigabyte IDE hard drive. And they want you to know this is not a misprint. They physically have that in the ad. This is not a misprint for how good this price is. It says this is not a misprint.
Okay.
You said it's an IDE drive?
It is
1 gigabyte in 1995.
1.08 gigabytes.
Okay.
Jordan, we'll let you go first here. What is your guess?
Oh man, I have no idea. I'm just gonna guess really high and say like $19.99, $2,000.
That seems awfully high.
I'm going real high.
I was gonna go like 250.
250 is a much better guess.
Really? In 95?
For
100?
1 gigabyte?
A gigabyte is a lot. Everything was still like megabytes.
It
Yeah.
is. Well, mind you, this is Micro Center's pricing. We have the best prices.
We do have the best prices.
Was $199.
$199 for a gigabyte in 1995. I was way off. I thought a gigabyte was like really, really expensive for the longest time until
I mean, yeah. I'd say $200 is still pretty expensive for a gigabyte.
95. I was 6 years old. So I don't know. I'm not very good at pricing gigabytes when I was 6.
All right, moving on. Jordan, chance to redeem yourself. We'll let you go second this time.
Sure.
Jacob,
Yes.
if you were purchasing Microsoft Windows 95 in 1995, how much would you plan to pay at Micro Center?
$150.
$150. Jordan, How much would you plan to pay?
I'm going to say $99 because I'm basing this on that Steve Ballmer commercial from way back in the day where he's talking about it's $99. So I'm saying $99. I think they kept that price point consistent.
Microcenter's best price, and it says best price,
Oh, maybe we discounted.
$160.90.
Wow. Oh, you're
Jacob,
closer.
2 for 2. 2 for 2.
Windows 95.
Which
Hit.
we'll show this on screen as well, but just for you guys, is you can see these all the different software down here at the bottom of the page, which is amazing.
Very
You get U.S. Navy fighter, Thrustmaster XL joystick, a little bit of everything, which I love. Okay, now for this one, we're actually going to talk about a program that isn't around anymore with Micro Center because it pertains to physical software, which I thought was funny you brought it up. Our in-house power spec PCs, which you can go into store, have a completely pre-built PC, pick it up off the shelf and go. We used to have something called PowerPoints, where when you would buy one, you would be able to redeem those for software, which I love the idea of. So we have all
So
these
we had a
packs.
rewards program.
We had all these packs that were built together, and we'll show them on screen too. But they're so funny because there's just all this different software between, editing, games, everything, anything you can name. We had it, which I thought was awesome. So I'm gonna give you the name of this pre-built, then I'm gonna give you the specs. It is a P133 16 1.6 gig multimedia with 133 megahertz Intel Pentium processor. Yeah, Jacob, don't look at the price.
I'm not. I'm looking away.
Our specs, make sure I have this correctly here. It runs an Intel 3.3V Pentium with VRE settings for 3.5V versions. Supports CPU speeds of 75, 90, 100, 120, and 133 megahertz, depending on which one you get.
Does it have a turbo button on the case?
So many turbo buttons. All the turbo buttons. The other thing that I want to jump down to, the memory is a 16 megs of 64-bit enhanced data output DRAM. Depending on the version you get, 4 megabytes, 8 megabytes, 16 or 32 megabyte sims for total capacity of 128 megabytes. Okay, so we're on the highest model here. And for the drive, it has a Western Digital Caviar AC3 1.6 gigabyte hard drive. For the video card, it has a Diamond Edge 2200 3D multimedia accelerator with 2 megabytes of DRAM.
A 3D card in 1995. That's a nice system.
Yeah.
And
pricey.
it has a 6x CD-ROM drive, throughput of up to 900 kilobytes per second.
Who's
So,
going first?
I mean, you're up 2-0. Let's throw him a bone here.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and take your best guess?
As to how much that PC is?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess $2,500.
$2,500.
I'm gonna go insane. I'm gonna say $49.99, $5,000.
Listen, I don't know if Jacob can just see the prices, but it's
I'm looking up.
$2,497.
Check
Staring
the
at
tape.
the ceiling.
Jacob was off by $3.
I was off by $2,500.
That's just because of how great Micro Center's prices are. That even in 1995, you
All right,
felt
I
like
have a
you get a good
suggestion
deal.
for this piece when we do it in the future.
I think we just need to have. He needs to just have a list
No, we need to take this picture and just Photoshop off the price so we can see
Yeah.
the picture.
and just put it on the
Because I
monitor.
just forgot what you said halfway through. Hold on, I want to try one more,
Sure.
but since I'm losing,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need a little bit of help.
Okay. So you can
So are you gonna cover
Give me,
Nice.
give me like an accessory. Let's do an accessory. Or
I like
something.
this idea.
I'm gonna ask Meta for help because AI. I'm losing.
Are
This
you
game.
phoning a friend?
You're
Yeah,
phoning a
I'm-
friend.
I am phoning a friend.
All right. Let's go ahead and grab. How about a little fax machine?
Okay.
Okay. What? How would you like to do this?
Just tell me the name or brand or something.
Okay. Well, do you want to have Jacob guess first so that way he doesn't get to hear? Well, I guess he won't really hear it from.
He's not going to get my price.
Yeah, I
It
can't
is
hear
the HP Fax 700 plain paper fax machine.
Hey, Meta. How much was an HP Fax 700 paper fax machine in 1995?
I'm actually very fascinated to see if this works.
It might work. It's thinking. Okay, he couldn't find the price. He's telling me he couldn't find the price. Fine.
I'll tell you this.
It's telling me to check eBay.
Oh,
It told me to check eBay.
to be fair, that's probably the only place you could get one of these anymore.
Not enough information trained on pricing from 1995 products.
How weird.
I can't believe it. That's crazy.
Fine, I'll take a guess myself. I'll do this the manual way. $99.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess $70.
Wow, both of you were not even in the ballpark.
How
What
much?
was it?
$486.
Oh, but we did a fax machine before, and it was like $90. But
I
that
feel
was in
like-
2003.
I
Okay,
feel like fax
1990
machines are just made up money.
1995 to 2003. Clearly, there was a
it's a big-
depreciation of fax
8
machines.
years.
And how
Email
important they
became
were.
a thing.
That's
Speaking of
true.
real quick software too, they have the Uninstaller 3.0 for Windows for $33. And I think that's just awesome.
Yeah.
That is just great.
I think Windows 95 was still DOS based. So you might have needed something like that.
I loved Windows 95.
Hey, Meta. How much did Windows 95 cost in 1995?
Is it correct?
$209 in 1995. So we did have special pricing.
We
'cause
did.
It
We
was,
actually did have.
it was 160 because
Yep.
AI told me that it's 209 when it came
Oh,
out.
guys, unfortunately, these prices are only valid through December 3rd, 1995. We just missed the sale.
Man, we
Just
missed
barely.
that sale by a large margin. Almost 3 decades. We
Yeah.
missed the sale.
Just. But I'm
Okay, I'm taking that flyer to our store and I'm going to ask them to price match one of those products. If I could find it in the store,
you might be able to find some of the like a CD caddy maybe.
I see a power cable there.
Yeah,
Power
we have,
outlet.
we have some surge protectors there.
Yeah, surge protector technology hasn't changed in 30 years, right?
Yeah, a six. This is the Inland brand surge protector for 89 cents.
Let me see this. Hold on. I want to ask AI one more question about our flyer from 1995.
What am I looking at?
Hey, Meta. What am I looking at?
Ooh. Lynx Pro 386 Golf video game.
It says I'm looking at an advertisement from Microcenter from 1995.
Wow.
It actually knows.
I think it probably got context from it's multimodal, so
It
it's
can
like
read.
reading it. Yeah.
So it can read this for me, and I
Yeah.
can tell it, like, can you read to me what it says on the thing? And it'll read off all the text, which is
Yeah.
kind of good because if you're vision impaired, like it
Oh,
you know,
100%.
it can
Yeah.
help.
For accessibility, that's going to be a fantastic feature.
Yeah, AI and accessibility, that's going to be some real cool stuff.
Wait. So you guys know the game? It's really big in VR. The Phantasmagoria. It's like a ghost hunting.
I've
game
heard
that's
of
out.
it. I've not played.
Apparently, you could get that in 1995 for $45.
$45?
Yeah.
What do they have any other games here?
Yeah, they have one of the best ones in the top left. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, I loved that game.
I love that.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego was $36 in 1995.
Hey, you can't put a price on
Yeah.
knowledge of geography.
Yeah. You were basically investigating world crimes.
Yeah.
SimTown.
I was ready to be employed by Interpol
Yeah,
at the end of that.
for sure.
SimCity 2000, $45. Wow.
That is crazy how far software games have come because you start looking at like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk you get for like $60.
Yeah.
Reader Rabbit 3 Deluxe.
I played
$32.
so much
Is-
Reader Rabbit.
95. I don't know if Roller Coaster Tycoon was out yet, but I'm genuinely curious.
I've invested some time in Roller Coaster Tycoon
Yeah.
as well.
The first couple were fantastic.
Ooh, okay. I got one for you. I got one
Okay.
for both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to do a couple of games from 1995.
All right.
I'm just going to blast through a couple of games. Just very
got it.
quickly.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Dark Forces,
Ooh.
1995. How much was that? That's Star Wars Dark Forces,
Yep.
by the way.
$39.99.
I'm gonna go. We had to pay for licensing, so $43.98.
We had it on sale for
I
$37.97.
didn't know it was on sale.
24% off.
Okay, I think I had to have been real close then,
All right.
without the sale. I didn't know it was on sale.
Ultimate Doom.
Is it on sale?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Ultimate Doom. That's a fairly... Because Doom was what, 93?
$28.95.
I'm going to guess $39.99.
$24.55.
Dang, let's go.
It was $29.99.
Ooh, I was real close.
Now, Doom 2, Hell on Earth.
Ooh, okay. It's a sequel. $36.97.
I'm going $45.
$38.15.
Let's
Dang.
You cheated. I think you just read these and
He's just-
memorize
Yeah,
them in
you
your spare
got
time.
me. You got me. Yep.
We got a couple of good old games here. All right, Mech Warrior 2.
Ooh. Is it on sale?
Yes.
$25.
Oh, no, it's more than that.
Mech Warrior 2 was sweet. I played that.
$36.45.
$39.
Yeah. Mech Warrior
I'm
was
good
sweet.
at tech stuff, but video games, video game pricing, I'm not very good at, apparently.
Look at this. We got Prince of Persia,
Ooh.
X-Wing Collection. We had...
Prince of Persia was
Prince of
95.
Persia in
That's
95?
crazy.
No, it's the old Prince of Persia. The one where it was the 2D scroller where he would run and jump.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
I just
didn't know the IP was in 1995.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The game is old. Prince of Persia has been around for a long time.
Do you know that Assassin's Creed was originally going to be a Prince of Persia game? And they just like went off script?
Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, here's one. See, these are the kinds of things like you don't get anymore.
Yeah.
Do you remember like encyclopedias on
Yeah.
CD-ROMs?
Oh, I mean, I remember when you had like the encyclopedia salesman. It was like, do you want A? Do you want B? Do
Yeah.
you want C?
My parents had an encyclopedia, like the books, and
Yeah.
then they got the Encyclopedia Britannica, like CD-ROM software.
Yeah.
So we had that. But check this out. At Microcenter in 1995, we had Star Trek: The Omnipedia CD. It's an encyclopedia about everything Star Trek.
Holy moly.
How much do you think that cost?
Wait, how much does it cost or how much is it worth? Millions is what it's worth.
Clearly.
How much it costs? I'm going to go $150.
No, I don't think it's that high. I'm gonna go $42.50.
What is with these oddly specific numbers you're picking, by the way?
Yeah. It's like,
It was $38.53.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
It's an encyclopedia. Encyclopedias were expensive.
But the digital versions are supposed to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. We got a little off track there.
Yeah.
Come on, that was fun.
That was fun.
So I think that kind of wraps it up for today's episode. But we're going to be doing these with more regularity.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do this a lot more frequently. And I think the number one thing to stay tuned to is sort of the evolution of what the studio is going to look like over the next few weeks.
And if you have suggestions, we'd love to hear them.
Oh, yeah.
Reach out to us in the comments. We're also going to put some polls out about some things that you would like to hear about or have us cover in this podcast. We're only on episode number 2, but we got a long way to go and we got a lot to cover. So
And there's a lot of segments that we've kind of been talking about how to make them work. And now that we're finally in this new space, they'll be good.
it's going to be a good time. All right, guys, stay tuned and make sure you subscribe.
Bye.
Ta-ta.